Count of four. Four count.
No 4 count for me today. Sorry, I got.
No Mississippi, just 1, 2, 3, 4.
We had about 3 false starts in there.
Yeah,
anyway, we were talking about the early days of death metal and the loss of Chuck Schuldiner. As we said, if you listen to the very first album that Chuck Schuldiner did with Death, and then you listen to the last album they did. Not to mention, if you listen to the Control Denied album that he wrote, played guitar on, and then even like middle period Death, it doesn't sound like 2 different bands. It sounds like there's like 3 or 4 different bands in there. He was all about pushing the boundaries, and whether you like the album or not, most people like every album that most of his fans like every album that he put out. He kind of did the impossible. He was all about like doing something that hadn't been done before. It's the stuff where if you talk about it to someone who doesn't listen to extreme metal, they wouldn't even give it the time of day. Like what? He threw in jazz influence. He threw in progressive rock influence. What the hell? You don't even know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking. The beginning of a lack of comprehension on Human, how that starts out, and then he just breaks out and.
You listen to like a lot of the stuff with like the fretless bass, and then Control Denied. There's all that. Progressive stuff in there. Like he really, if you listen to the really intricate bass work he had going on, he was doing everything that he would have never dreamed of on the first record. He was doing everything that early on he wasn't supposed to do. And I think that is something that maybe death metal lost a little bit after he went by. Too many people, too many bands I hear some are really good, some are not so good. But a lot of them, they sound like they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, and when you retrace back to the Scream Bloody Gore, I mean, when shit, I was young then when that came out. Still love the album.
And there was nothing like that when it came out. Whether you love that album or hate that album, there was nothing like it.
So, growing up on that shit, so you see why I'm picky when it comes to my music, because I grew up on that shit, and so it's like, every death metal band that comes my way, or a band I like puts out an album, it's like, all right, I want it to be like this. It should be like this. But yeah, death. I don't have a favorite group, but death says
Okay, let's
it
say
all.
for everybody who doesn't really know about death metal, if you were going to suggest to somebody your first death metal album, what would you suggest? If you were to start stocking a death metal
First
library,
death metal album to
give me
suggest.
5 from the number. Give me 5 that you need to have in your library for death metal.
And
Bleeding by Cannibal
I
Corpse.
was just gonna say
that's one of the best-selling death metal records of all time.
Deicide Legion.
What's that?
That's the second Deicide album.
So the name of the band is Deicide.
The album's called Legion.
Legion, okay.
And Deicide's first 3 records are all, not to keep going back to sales, but they're all some of the best-selling death metal records
Okay, so
ever.
we got, wait a minute. Number one is what?
Well, no, I think I read this, the best-selling death metal album of all time is supposed to be the first Deicide record.
Okay. So
But I don't understand, like with Deicide, the first 3 records
They lost
are the
it
gold.
today.
all right, so no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm totally new to death metal, and I want to build a death metal library. I need the 5 most staple death metal albums there are. Just like if somebody said rock, somebody said hard rock, I'd say you gotta have Led Zeppelin 4.
Right, so I'd say any one of the first 3 Deicide records. Like I'm not too
Deicide,
into
okay,
them,
give
but
me another one.
any one of the first. So he says Deicide Legion. I say that's as good a starting point as any.
Okay, then no.
I started. That was one of my starters.
Okay, so we got 2. What was the first one you named?
I said the Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse.
Okay, Deicide, give me 3rd.
I'm gonna say Napalm Death, Harmony Corruption.
Okay, Napalm Death's the name of the band, and Harmony Corruption is the name
Now
of the album.
for Death, my first record by them and a good middle period record would be Individual Thought Patterns
By who?
by the band Death.
By the band Death. So we got Death, Napalm, we got
Death,
Cannibal
Napalm
Corpse.
Death, Cannibal Corpse. We
There's-
got
Deicide.
yeah.
Athena, there's
Death,
so many,
wait,
man.
no, I'm only asking for 5, just a 5 staples.
See,
okay?
and
Now
I
give me
mean
a 5th.
5th, Obituary. What was
Yes, Obituary, Cause of Death, or
Slowly We Rot.
Incomplete, their 3rd album. Great fucking album.
Okay, so Obituary, Death, Cannibal Corpse.
These are all the biggest names in death metal with some.
Because I don't know.
Yeah, now Napalm Death. If you want to get to it, there's death metal and grindcore. They're 2 forms of music that are very, very similar, and the one always bleeds into the other. I mean, grindcore is basically a very almost like a very simple version of death metal. They both got the growling and they got the blast beats. They're both made of that. But while Like,
Grindcore's more dramatic on stage.
well,
isn't it?
grindcore it's more in the spirit of punk. People
Yeah, I was gonna
people
say
don't
that is
refer to it
more
as
hardcore.
metal.
It's
really.
like a violent
Grindcore's
screaming
hardcore
punk.
to me. Grindcore and hardcore.
Yeah, grindcore. It's more to do with, it's closer to like heavy punk. It's like you're not going to listen to a grindcore album and go, wow, that riff was incredible.
No, it's
You
very
know?
hardcore.
Yeah, grindcore, it's all about one blast after another. A song might only be 30 seconds long. They might not even have verses and choruses, just blast, blast, blast,
that's not
blast,
even
blast.
the mean.
Right, it has the growls, it has the blast, but it's very intentional in giving you something.
Grindcore band. Give me grindcore band.
When we said like
Nasum.
early Nasum, yeah, there's another one. We got Brutal Truth.
Agoraphobic nosebleed.
Now from Philly, there's
The Harvest.
there's this TFD.
What's TFT?
Total fucking destruction.
Yeah, Dan
really? There's a
Loker.
band called TFD. I never heard of it.
Yeah.
Brutal Truth. Dan Loker's in Total Fucking Destruction. Is he still?
No, I don't know if he's still in that one, but
Where
Rich
they-
Hoke is in Total Fucking Destruction. He's
Okay.
also in
I
Brutal
want to see Total
Truth.
Fucking Destruction. I just like the name.
They are. They're actually pretty funny. Like they got some.
I've seen him with
Yeah.
the
Yeah, get him on my
incantation.
show. I want to tell him to Total Fucking Destruction on my show.
Yeah, then there's like I said with grind, there's sort of early Carcass, but then again, see a lot of bands they go from grind into death metal or death into grind because the two are so similar, it's easy to cross over. So Napalm
I
Death
think
makes.
Grindcore is much more
See,
experimental,
I've
too.
always considered Napalm Death as death metal. I've always considered them death metal. I mean, today they're still putting albums out and they're screaming more in their
Yeah.
later albums, but their old shit, like from Enslavement to Obliteration, Harmony,
much more
Corruption,
experimental, too.
Utopia,
It's just
Banished,
Yeah.
those were death metal albums, I think.
Yeah, exactly. They went more like they're on the very first record. They were
It's
doing
a
songs like
Grindcore album.
when they were doing songs like "You Suffer." When they were doing stuff, they were doing like second long songs. Like that was really the grind
Yeah.
phase.
That's totally like Common Enemy hardcore shit.
Yeah, then they went into the death metal phase. Like I know there was one grind band from Philly that I knew some of the people in called
Was
Triple.
Fuckface grind?
Yeah, they were grind.
Yeah.
But they
Triple.
played like a college.
Yeah, that's
they played
the-
a college or an egg beater or something. So to me, that's more experimental.
Whatever that, yeah, Triple X Maniac is another one. It's all, yeah. See, it's a lot of it's about offense. Like death metal, it's more like the difference between the death metal. Again, it's more the spirit of metal. A death metal song is going to be at least 4 minutes. It's going to probably give you a guitar riff you're supposed to come
Yeah.
back to, remember.
Something you can, in grindcore, you notice, like you said, the songs are 20, 30 seconds long.
They're
some of them.
experimental.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They're more than
some of
shots.
them will hit a sick fucking beat, a good riff, and it will last 5
Are
seconds.
they
and
like
you,
it? They're like a hand grenade of music. It's like
Yeah.
you're just gonna explode. And
just
that's
as
it.
you get into a good rhythm and a good beat, it's over right away. Like the good heavy rhythm and then some double bass comes in. I love that shit. And then it's over. It's like,
So what's the
too
purpose
bad.
of that?
Yeah, so we're not. I'm not
We're
going.
talking about people that really don't have any musical skills. Is that what it is?
No. See, actually,
Some of 'em.
It takes some grindcore bands. It takes really good skill to pull some of that off.
I mean, they stay tight.
Big
The
money.
speed and the tightness of it,
But yeah, but death metal goes back. It's like the difference between grind and death metal is the difference between heavy metal and punk. Death metal is all about, it'll give you a riff to come back to. It'll change the dynamics up. They'll have the slow songs. Like a death metal song might switch tempos, get slow for a bit, maybe even get mellow, throw in some clean guitars, and then go back into the heavy stuff. And I mean, when death metal started, it was very one-dimensional and a lot closer to grind. Like death and grind kind of had the same, very similar beginnings. But it's,
Death metal gets such a. But what about bands like Bereavement? Like, is that death?
I don't even have no idea who the hell they are.
who is it again?
Bereavement. They were from what I said, they were like the definition.
Devourment?
Bereavement.
I have never heard of them in my life.
They're from Lehigh Valley. Maybe they're not
don't know.
together anymore.
I don't know.
The
Chinga,
thing-
they're grind.
Yeah, Chinga.
Chinga's grind. Is that Chinga's
Yeah.
grind?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
Chinga.
Chinga have
That's
one song,
Chinga.
for instance, where it's just like brrrm, brrrm,
Is it grind?
brrrm,
Okay,
brrm.
there's black metal. There's
Yeah,
black
their
metal.
shit. I mean, I like
Black
Chinga.
metal, something total. That's another thing. That's another show right there.
I know it is.
Yeah.
We're going to different level of metal. I know that.
This is
I want to black metal concert run.
Black metal. Yeah, okay, that again. That's another show. We can
No,
go back to
another
that
show.
joke.
We'll
We're gonna show
paint our
Kevin in
faces
the
in
concert
corpse
run.
paint at that show.
Yes.
We'll show scenes from the last concert run. Next show.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. The new Rumple album. They threw in some black metal influence in the vocals. That's an interesting choice.
Really, they did.
Yes, but
I have
we'll-
yet to see them. I'm dying to see them. You guys want
Yes.
to take a little break and come back?
yeah.
We're
why
going to
not?
take a little break. We're going to show a clip. Let me see here. On Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm just going to show a medley clip in this 2 minutes. This is a medley clip featuring Anvil Bitch and scenes from me and everybody here from 191 behind the scenes and between the scenes last show that they did here. I have the trash can. Okay, this is really funny actually. Oh. This is, Rob hasn't seen this. You guys are doing such an awesome job. Oh my god, this is epic.
I'm gonna grab some water.
Yeah, I know. I need some iced tea right now.
Yeah, I don't gotta be up until 9, so or I don't be at work until 9. I'll be up.
Listen up. Get up. Get out. I want to come out when you let me know.
We're doing a police medley.
You know what? I saw this. I watched this.
Yeah.
This is such cute.
I saw this in the list.
Please let me out.
Had to wait till 9:95.
Yeah, we're in there. We come back.
Yeah, I watched this in the
This is
list.
so cute.
Welcome, my mental vet.
Fucking Jay.
Is that a vampire? What is this god? Is this God? You gotta plug it back in, just jam it in there.
Pull it out, plug it back in. You have to jam it in there.
Fuck, I didn't know that.
Is that the new rip?
I think my new lamp is like cool. It's hot as shit, man. It's really hot. I keep getting burned.
It's Christmas time down
I
here.
love it, but you know, my one of the
That is
worst things. It's some artist later.
Let me tune it in and plug it in first. Shit.
No, they're upstairs.
The Burger Girls rock!
Ow! It's hot.
I bet all metal.
Yeah, if one's missing, I'm gonna open it up.
It's put up in post.
I need a little helmet. These guys are so much fun. I love them.
They've been around forever.
Yeah. Can you do me a favor? When you go upstairs, will you put some ice in here?
Yeah, I gotta get some water myself.
Ice and I see. There's ice in the picture.
I won't say nothing. Mom's word.
Is he out there? Where is he? Is he outside?
Yeah, I love getting behind the mic, Athena.
Okay, great.
I want a band.
Wow, they're really still like a scene out of Lord of the Flies.
Look at all his stuff up there. That's like great that you're doing that with him right now. Because we gotta.
Lord of the Flies.
That's it.
Stool. Oh my. Are you currently watching, I can't remember. Athena back from 191 TV, and we are watching in the middle of the second pilot for this metal show, and we are in the middle of the second half of it, which is featuring Kevin Camex from KMX Band, as well as Rob Conover, death metal artist out of Lancaster County. And we've been through everything tonight to what is supposed to now we're talking about death metal. So we're going to be right back. I'm going to put another clip of we just pick something, of course it has to be metal, right? When we also heard from Sean Serrano was on earlier, and we had a great first half of the pilot with him. We're going to be back every 2 weeks with That's Metal Show, featuring Camex and Sean as our featured hosts. If anybody is in the metal scene who is interested in coming and being a guest on the show, please contact us at any time. Facebook or go to Z191TV.com, and there's all our contacts are right there. You can also contact Kevin McKeon on Facebook. He's obviously KMX, as well as Sean Scarano. You can find him on Facebook as well, underneath Burned by God Records. So again, if you're interested in being on this metal show, shout out to Eddie Trunk with that metal show. And if you got any comments or if you have any ideas, please send them immediately. We always have an email, phillyboundslocal191@gmail.com. And like I said, this will be every 2 weeks. We're starting the Metal Summit, which will be once a month, big metal event here once a month, and Trash Can as well, featuring one major metal band a month. And this month is going to start out on July 15th with metal band March to Victory on Born in Chaos Records. And we're going to be featuring them, and then we're going to be featuring the bands from Born in Chaos Records for the next 2 weeks until their showcase on September 1st, which is going to be held in Rusty Now. So we're going to be talking about bands like, let me see, Sandronica, we have Chinga, we just heard about Chinga, Sandronica Chinga, we have, oh my gosh, Rush to Victory, Machines of Penalty. I think the Destroyer's on that label. I've got Extra Fee. Shout out to Extra Fee, my God, I haven't seen you guys in ages. So it's going to be Everything's Metal starting on July 15th here on 191 TV. And July 15th is the first show, and then we're going to carry that through August. We're taking a break for 2 weeks in August. For 2 weeks in August, we're going to actually be traveling down to Florida, St. Petersburg. We're going to be joining PJ from Black Hall Radio down there. We're going to be doing some live from the studio scenes with Condition Critical. This is the next big thrash band coming out of Philadelphia while they record their first full length down there in St. Petersburg. And then when we come back from there, we have featured our next big 191 show is featured Leanna, hard rocking, some people call her metal, I love her, from Philadelphia. That'll be August 26th. So we have coming up July 15th, March to Victory, a metal show, Metal Summit here. And again, 2 weeks from today, we will be having another This Metal show. So, 191 live show, Sundays from 6 to 8 p.m. EDT. We have, this weekend we're taking some time off. We have the Metallica Orion Fest in Atlantic City, taking up a lot of our people, as well as the Championships 1980s cover metal comedy weekend, which is a 3-day event. We're going to be there on Sunday night at Championships in Trenton to experience March to Victory's little transformation into its alter ego. And then following that, we have Wednesday. Following that, we have Metro 360 Live here with me and Kevin. Then following, we have, and special guest on Wednesday, we have the 14th Street Jazz Trio. 4 boys that just graduated from high school in Philadelphia music school. They're going to be here with their, I guess we've got, what's Jazz Trio? No, Jazz Quartet, I'm so sorry. 14th Street Jazz Quartet Wednesday, the 27th of June. Then we have coming up after that, June 30th, live here from the Trash Can, we've got the Anarchy Barbecue, annual Anarchy Barbecue featuring the Noid, Atomic Age, Welter, and a number of other hardcore bands. That's parts of that are going to be live. It's Dutchman's birthday. After that, we have March to Victory on, July 8th, we have actually a rap group here, known as LaBeouf, and they're going to be featured because we are going to be live on July 21st from the Riverfront in Marcus Hook for the Lucas Foundation fundraiser, and they're going to be one of the bands that play there with our guys, Slap Happy Flapjacks. So, so that's the 8th of July. We're going to be featuring LaBeouf here on 191 Live Show at 6 p.m. Following that, we got March to Victory on July 15th for our Metal Summit weekend, followed by our trip to Florida with Condition Critical. So that's it, and we will be back in 2 weeks with the next This Metal show, but we will be back also in a few minutes with the guys to wrap this up. Of course, we're going to get a little a demonstration by Rob. He's going to give us an example of death metal singing. So, I mean, I feel like a moron. I'm learning a lot. I hope you are too. And I hope you tune in for the rebroadcast as well. We're going to be rebroadcasting this hopefully on Friday night. But we will be putting out a full programming schedule starting hopefully this Friday, if not Saturday. It should be up on our website of our entire week of programming, including the new shows coming up. Shadow Play Show on Monday nights, Hardcore Punk Show with Jeff Johnson on Tuesday nights, and then of course our This Metal Show Wednesday nights. Thursday it's going to be our featured band of the week show, and but that's not been announced yet. But everything will be up on our programming schedule. Go to www.z191.com and look on our coming events page, and there will be a full channel lineup. And we're talking down to the hour. If you're a band or an artist and you're interested in doing your own show here on 191 TV, we are looking for people who want to teach guitar for an hour live, or take your band and do like if you're in the poo-poo band, you're going to do an hour. You can do whatever you want as long as it's positive, as long as it's local music and it supports the scene. You can play live, you can play videos, whatever you want to do. Like I said, as long as it is independent, unrepresented, local, and positive. We do not talk. We don't have negativity on our show. At least we attempt to not go there. It's very difficult sometimes. I just want to remind everybody to tune into Black Power Radio on Saturday nights at 6 o'clock. And also, we're going to put a link on the page. We have Sean's Guys Over Radio Show now in the mornings from 7 to 10 a.m. on Rock Radio. I think it's Rock Radio. I don't know, we'll put the link up. So go to z191.com. Everything's on there on our events page. Looking back, we're going to see a little clip of... you know what, I'm going to put on a clip of my guys over from the Harrisburg area. This is a Suicide Puppets. They're a whole other level metal. And absolutely phenomenal. Guys, I wish you'd come out here. These guys are stadium band. Check out, I want to see who notices what's special about the microphone stands that this band uses. Again, the Suicide Puppets, shout out to Twisty Suicide. Veritas and Johnny Suicide and Donnie, oh my gosh, I miss you, Donnie. I heard you're out there with puppets now. So Donnie from the Moving Twisted is not living in Harrisburg with Suicide Puppets. Donnie, oh gosh, we were just talking about you. Anyway, here's the Suicide Puppets, and we're flipping over to them. This is Suicide Puppets' Absolute Cinema video, and I don't know if this is actually just the live version or whether this is the video that we made for the Vegas video, but anyway, it's a video work done by me from Athena Music Media, now New Level Media. You can go to athenaphotomedia.ifp3.com for the gallery, or you can go to 191 Bands TV, a video channel, it's YouTube/191 Bands, and you can look up any one of these bands and look at the playlists of our videos, over 2,000 local videos of 191.
And I knew one day they'd do it in honor of
Okay, guys, I'm putting on the puppets, and I want to know what level of metal these guys are. And then you guys will be back live.
They're industrial metal with black metal vocals.
Where do you want this set? So, did Dusty go to bed? Did he leave?
Nothing.
I
I don't think about it.
Why does he get into that?
I don't think about it.
Is he like working tomorrow, or is that all totally loose with him? Like,
When something happened, I have to think
what
about
in terms of like what his actual like working hours? Does he ever have anything like set, or is when people make appointments?
People make appointments, whatever. We just go by flow every day.
Go by the flow.
Yeah, I will send on video thing on. I mean, when I first made this video, we put simple little messages in between the pictures of these are all serial killers. I'm gonna put the pictures of U.S. presidents in there, so if you made a really slow, you saw Bob, you saw Jimmy Cliff, but I think it didn't got me, so it's so dumb. He makes all his microphone stands out of guns. I love him, man. I swear to God.
It reminds me of
I can't even
ministry.
watch him anymore.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Ministry of what?
Ministry all the way.
Oh, isn't that funny because the keyboardist is playing Ministry.
Yeah, there you
There
go.
you go. There you go.
Yeah, it sounds like Ministry, fucking. It sounds like
Ministry
just one
sounds
fix kind of.
Yeah.
I made this video.
That's another thing I was going to do once in this show is talking about like a lot of metal riffs at
That's probably ron
0356.
Chris guitarist in this too, that's good.
The 0356 riffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Just One Fix is one of them. Like Smoke on the Water, Master of Puppets, Am I Evil? It's all 0356.
My Evil's my favorite, even though it's not an original song, it's my favorite. That's my favorite song.
Yeah, I got the original on my iPod.
Diamond Head
too.
version, that's the only Diamond, I heard somebody else say
I
Diamond
don't
Head the
like
other day.
Diamond Head.
Diamond Head has another
Diamond Head, they put out a bunch of different versions of that. That's one thing, they had the worst managements. They never
Diamond
got
Head, I
the
heard
album
something
out
else
there.
by Diamond Head the other day, and it was awful.
I have a bunch of stuff on my iPod. They had some other good ones. They're hit and miss. One era they really fucked up. When they got that shit
You guys gotta sit back
re-released.
down because you're gonna get you know.
Sure, yeah, when they got that shit re-released in America, they got it remixed.
American, what are they from?
They're from England. They're from Birmingham. They're new wave of British heavy metal. When they got that album, when they got their old material re-released, they remixed it, and they took the old Am I Evil and a bunch of other songs, and they totally overproduced it. They threw in all this reverb.
Shit.
They threw in orchestral noises,
This whole thing
and
was
they
going
just
on.
murdered a great song. And that was.